starting to feel just like a rap god, Don't know what I'm gonna rap about, but I'll figure it out, Because, oh yeah, look, I was stuck in a bad relationship, fine, but now she's gone, man. I can't even find a sense of purchase, no driving the mool, only got dumped by some girl, feeling like a fool, I now mind is. What is up, people of the internet? Welcome back to the channel. BPrick13, and today do I have a show for you guys. We are going to be looking at a small clip from one of the greatest podcasts ever. It's with TT Boy, and if you don't know who TT Boy is, well, he's basically the Tony Montana of porn. I swear the guy is a gangster. But yeah, every time I see him interviewed, it's like, oh my God, he's so gangster. He's like really scary. Guy's crazy, but he's been with like over 10,000 women. But anyway, so his podcast is pretty amazing. And the reason is because, well, they talk about women. My favorite subject. Besides cigars, of course. And not only that, but we're going to be looking at the greatest group in the history of the internet. It's called the Toxic Kings No Simpin' Future Lead the Way group on Facebook. There's over 62,000 people in there. Including myself. So, yeah, stay tuned because, oh man, it's going to be a bumpy ride. But we're going to get through this because I'm the best. I'm the best, baby. Anyways. Oh, man. All right, let's jump right into this. I don't have all day, people. Let's go ahead and take a look. All right, boys and girls, let's go ahead and jump right into this. This is coming from Striking It Rich with TT Boy, and he is interviewing, I can't remember this guy's name, Tony Martino. So I know I compared TT Boy to Tony Montana from the movie Scarface, but this is actually his friend Tony Montino. So this is probably the number 2 best podcast ever, in my opinion. I would say number 1 would probably be Joe Rogan's interview with Alex Jones about 4 years ago. That was the best podcast interview ever. This comes in at probably a solid number 2, so make sure you guys watch this in its entirety. It is about 4 hours long, my gosh, but we are not going to be covering that long of this podcast. We're only going to be looking at like a couple minutes because I wanted to highlight some things for you guys so we can learn. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into this.
Right, that was years ago. Anyway, so I said, hook me up with one of these.
By the way, he is telling his story about being a male stripper, okay? This is the secret life of a male stripper, okay? This was him talking about his earlier self when he was about 20 years old, and he goes on to detail how many girls he had been with. It's absolutely incredible, and it shows just how willing and eager regular girls are, especially, you know, chicks in like relationships and marriages and things like that go to these parties, how willing they are to just have fun, okay? Just take a look.
These other groups.
So you can be part of the group.
So I can go work at more nights. You know, I want to just work one night. I love doing that.
How many girls a night were you fucking? 1, 2, 3?
At least one every night.
But what's the most you ever fucked?
4.
4?
4.
Notice what he said. He said he was getting with one chick at least every single night, okay? And this went on for years, okay? 1 per night, and he said the most he had was 4. 4 in one night. Imagine having like 2 per night, okay? That's like 1,000 women per year. That's actually, that's not an accurate number, but you catch my drift, homie. Like what, 600 a year? It's late. I can't think right now.
That's beautiful.
Well, what happened was we used to do a club called Goodies. Goodies. It was by the Cal State Fullerton. In Fullerton. So I go out there and the guy says, okay, well, the first night you got to dance for free to try out.
Yeah, makes sense.
He goes, I'm going to tell you right now, you're just a kid. You're a kid.
How old are you right now? 18. So still in an alcohol club, so you're kind of like fake ID.
Fake ID. And I didn't drink. I didn't drink anyway.
Who gives a fuck?
I didn't want to.
Nobody gave a fuck.
No, they didn't. But I was underage, and I wanted to keep doing what I was doing. I didn't want to get caught. and be like, you're drinking, so we can't have you. Because years later, I got caught when I was still underage, but I wasn't drinking, so they were quick.
What year was this?
84.
84.
Sorry, 6 or 8. 82, 83. So I try out for him, and he goes, I'm going to already tell you right now, you're too young. You're just a boy. And these girls like men. And I'm like, you're fucking men, bro. Because after the show, and you know what, hey, these guys, way better than me. Way better. I mean,
dancers,
dude, these
buff, crazy.
Buff. They're men. I mean, come on. They're good-looking dudes, right? And I'm like, but half the job was after the show, you had to go out in the audience and mingle with them and talk to them so they come back the next week, right? I mean, you don't want them to come one time. You want them to show up every week. So you got to know how to schmooze with them afterward. So that's where it came into play. Where I go in there.
Land shark.
I could go out and talk to him, and the guy's like, okay. I go, I tell you what, if I'm so young, you let me go work for you for 1 week, and I'll do it for free. And then at the end of the week, you decide. So the first Monday was out in Anaheim, or Fullerton. Tuesday was in Palm Springs at Zelda's back in the day. You remember Zelda's?
I remember.
Right on Palm Canyon.
Vaguely.
Right on Palm Canyon.
I'm younger than you know what I mean? So I wasn't really doing anything until about 85.
It was there. It was right across from the Spa Hotel. Takawix McAllen, right in the middle of town. So you go out there on Tuesday night. Then Wednesday, you go to Victorville. It was a Mexican club. Later, it was Pegasus.
I went to Pegasus.
Before Pegasus, it was another club. There was Pegasus before Pegasus. You were back then.
Yeah, probably. I used to go to Club Metro. I did a hot body contest there.
Hey, that was Thursday nights, bro. But before Club
Saturday nights, right.
Wait, no, what happened was, that was Tuesday. Wednesday, we'd go to Victorville. Thursday, we'd go to a place before Metro was there. The owner, Al, owned Palomino Station. That's what it was called. Before it was Club Metro. Then they moved from that to Club Metro. And then we'd go work there on Thursday nights. We did shows there. So that was the club, dude. 300 girls every Thursday night. And they all wanted to have sex. And what they would do is, and you couldn't have contact, so they would throw the dollars to you, and you catch them in your brief, and they get a ticket. And at the end of the show, you go in the back room where the restaurant was, and they close it off. All the girls who had tickets and the guys who were dancers go back there and collect the tickets, and you'd have to make out with the girls. For hours, really take a couple hours because there's 300 girls. So a lot of them would tip, and you'd run out to the car. The owner had a van, and like I said, and this is a different day, and the girls were into it. You know what I mean? They like sex.
It breaks my heart,
you know,
to hear that those days will never be. It breaks my heart, but that is beautiful.
Those were the days, man. Beautiful. So we go back there, and it would be just only us. And a guy named Francois Papillon.
Yeah, right. He was He was a stripper too, huh?
French guy, shredded. Started dancing with our group.
I thought when I listened to him in the movies, you know, he seemed like he might have been a really cool guy.
Very cool. Okay, back then, the French guys weren't really friendly. What's the guy's name?
I want to get to the numbers. He talks about numbers here in just a second. Let me see if I can fast forward this a little bit.
And then ruins your life. Anyway, so
is your family religious?
My father is a pastor of a Christian church called Hope Chapel in Redondo Beach.
Wow.
Right. And we're close, we're tight, you know what I mean? But as a kid, you're just not thinking, you know what I mean? I was. Anyway, after everything that had just happened, I was like,
fuck it.
I was like, I just want to have fun, right? So I'm like, John says, I'll pay you $250. Come and do a scene. And you'll do it.
Dancing or fuck?
I was doing a Boy Scout back then. I came in like a little Boy Scout with my hair. Back then, you got a big mullet, like Billy Ray Cyrus hair.
Yeah.
That was the style back then. So it's all tucked up in a hat.
You still got hair, so your hair was good. You had good hair, didn't you?
Yeah, I had good hair. It was just all tucked up in a hat. I had glasses on. I come in like a nerd. Now,
you agreed on a sex scene?
He said, one scene, I'll pay you. You'll do the striptease.
Striptease.
And then you have sex. I'm like, okay. I never even thought, can I do it? It never crossed my mind, right?
How many girls, because you were already doing strip, how many girls had you fucked by this time. And how old were you?
I was doing, it was in 84. So I just turned 20. 19. I was 19, excuse me, I was 19. I was 19. And I thought, yeah, okay, great, I'll do this.
How many girls did you fuck? You think?
Hundreds.
Hundreds already?
I had worked stripping for a year in this group. Every night. Every night you're getting laid at least once.
Yeah.
At least, or you bring girls in the back during the show, and you'd have sex.
So hundreds.
But we had one rule. We had one rule back then. No girl could ever come back there if they were drunk. That was the one.
Okay, so I wanted to just highlight that point there where he talks about hundreds. Okay, mind you, this guy was 20 years old. And I think he said he only did it for, okay, so he was doing this 2 years at this point. So hundreds of girls. I mean, just imagine, which is quite impressive to be quite frank. I cannot imagine that kind of a lifestyle, but that, in my opinion, would be the definition of a high value man. As far as if we were to just rate it based upon lay count alone, and then lifestyle. I mean, that sounds like an incredible lifestyle, to be honest. I mean, you're dancing with all these gorgeous women, and you're at the best shape of your life and having the time of your life with all these different girls. But I just wanted to point that out to you that, some girls you don't want to trust with your life because this is what they do. Can't trust them all. You can trust a very small percentage. And that was the point I wanted to get at. And we're going to move on to the next subject here in just a moment. All right, moving right along, people, because I've got a couple of other things I wanted to highlight here. This is Eminem. Eminem became very, very rich very rapidly. Okay, another high-value man. In my personal opinion, he, swept the world off of its feet and became a multi-millionaire very, very quickly. And quite frankly, did not know what to do with his money. That was a big problem for him. He didn't know what to do. And he is what I would call a low flyer. He would stay humble and he would, fly low, so to speak, and, not really flaunt his money a lot like some of the other successful men out there in the world. He was not a very flashy kind of guy, and he explains that here in this particular video. So I just wanted to show it to you briefly.
Clearly not particularly. I heard a story that you wanted to buy a watch, and at this point, you'd sold millions of albums, and you wanted to buy a watch.
I know the story.
Is that true? You called up your manager to see if you could afford to buy the watch?
Yeah. I think it was a Rolex. Was it a Rolex? It was a Rolex. And I asked him, could I afford it? Because they make fun of me for it, but I'm for real. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, this is the whole money thing, all that stuff was brand new to me.
So what are you wearing right now?
This is a G-Shock.
A G-Shock,
It's probably about $100.
Do you like spending money?
Okay, so notice he said there that the watch on his wrist only cost him $100, and by this time he was extremely wealthy. So, don't assume that life is all about money, because it's not. And when you come across money, because more than likely you will eventually, most people, especially in America, you're going to come across a lot of money at one point or another. Whatever a lot of money means to you, it could be, a few $1,000s, 10 grand, or it could be 100 grand, it could be $1 million, it could be 10 million. Whatever the number is in your personal opinion, what a lot of money is, it's probably going to come your way. But I want you to notice that he said, this watch only cost me $100. Okay, like I said, he had millions and millions of dollars, but he refused to, I guess, buy this Rolex. I mean, he was talking about buying a Rolex, so instead he settled for this G-Shock. Okay, only cost him $100. Now, why would you do that? Why would you why would you settle for a very cheap, inexpensive watch? Well, I'll explain it. So, in Eminem's mind, he was under the impression that, or he was used to a poor lifestyle. Okay, obviously, many of us have seen the movie 8 Mile, so we know came from humble beginnings. and money was not easy to come by. So when he got all this money, it was like a shock to him. It was like he didn't know what to do. So a lot of people, what they do is they go out and they buy fancy stuff, fancy cars, fancy houses, fancy clothing, and jewelry, and all this stuff. And the truth is that a lot of wealthy men don't particularly flaunt their money. They fly low, and that's a brilliant way to live your life, to be honest, because, well, there's only so many watches you can buy. There's only so many, necklaces and rings you can buy, and cars that you can buy, to where it doesn't really satisfy you. Okay, when you think about quality of life and satisfaction, okay, certain things are not going to bring you full satisfaction, especially when you're rich. Okay, one thing that a lot of rich people notice when they get to that level is that they're not satisfied, they're not happy, and that rings true with the old saying, money cannot buy happiness. And it's a fact, because once you get to that level, you notice, well, I'm still not happy. Okay, so, well, what brings true happiness? Well, number one, you have to be content with what you have already, and then also on top of that, spiritual health and physical health is going to bring you much more satisfaction, I think. So when you as a high value man focus on those two things, spiritual health and physical health, you're going to notice that your satisfaction with life is going to carry on no matter what your status is, no matter what wealth class you're in, whether it's high class, middle class, or lower class. You could be a lower class individual and still be quite satisfied with the quality of life. I'm reminded of the verse in the book of Psalms that says, a little that a righteous man has is better than the riches of many wicked. So, when you think about it, if you're a rich person, you look at like poor people, and you think, oh my God, why are they so happy? It's because they have other things that they value. Okay, number one, maybe their social life is a very fulfilling one. Friends, family, things like that. So if your social circle is very small, you have very little friends, things like that, okay, your quality of life is definitely going to be low. So, take the old-fashioned advice that our parents used to tell us: get out there and make some friends. That's going to help you to, find more satisfaction in life. Get a hobby, okay? Get out and find something to do. That's why a lot of guys will push like the gym thing, like get out there, work out, lift weights, and that gives people a sense of purpose. Like, when you actually go out there and lift weights, it kind of gives you the same kind of high that, say drugs would, so to speak. I hate to use that illustration or that comparison, but it's true, because when you lift weights, it does give you a sort of release of like dopamine. So you're in the gym and you get, rewarded for pumping that iron and, lifting 250 pounds or whatever on the bench press. So you're going to feel physically, mentally better. And that's because of all the positive emotions and chemicals released into your brain. And you're going to be able to sleep better. And when you get better sleep, you feel better. So you're going to look and feel better about yourself. But yeah, let's move right along. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out, guys, that money does not buy you happiness. And, if you do come across money, I mean, there's over 20 million multimillionaires in the United States. So you got to think there's a lot of rich people around you. I mean, just drive down the local neighborhoods in your town. You'll see how many people actually have money, and you'll realize, well, they're everywhere. And so, yeah, the fact is, if you just live long enough and, you just stay patient with the process of working, saving, and investing, you're going to understand that you're going to have money as well. Maybe not quite the level of Eminem, but in other ways. Okay, 500, 700K in the bank looks a lot better to the average person than 10 grand in the bank. So yeah. All right, let's move right along. This is coming from Toxic Kings No Simp and Future Lead the Way. That says, please help me. Guy I'm dating received old videos of me giving someone oral sex. Oh my God. That sounds bad. All right, so this says, been dating a guy, 26-year-old male, now for 3 months. He is honestly such a gentleman. and we spend lots of time together in person and over text call. Recently, someone anonymously sent him a video of me giving oral sex to a guy I had met at a lounge. All right, this is going to be a long story. I don't know if I can get through this, but I'll do my best. So bear with me. I know it was awful that I did that within 45 minutes of knowing him, but I was in a dark place at the time and I needed some healing. What? You needed some healing, so you gave a guy a blowjob? What? It makes no sense. I love how girls use that sort of language. You know, I was in a dark place and I was in need of healing. Imagine guys saying that. You know, I needed to heal, so I went and became a whore, became a stripper, and friggin' slept with all these women. That's terrible logic. All right, this guy in the question ended up being my friend with benefits for a year or so. Okay, so likely it carried on for more than a year. In the video, I say some really dumb stuff like, once you go black, you never go back. Just some dumb stuff, honestly. And he finished in my mouth. Oh my gosh. Someone sent this text to my ex, and I have no freaking idea who. What do you mean you have no idea who? It was probably that guy. I reached out to my former friend with benefits, and he said he had no idea, as he is in a relationship now, and his face couldn't be seen in the video. This is straight hilarious. Anyways, the guy I have been seeing really got pissed and accused me of using him for time and money and withholding sex for 3 months. 3 months, which, by the way, is false. I'm not just comfortable having sex so soon without a commitment. We have kissed, however. Oh, wow. A kiss. Yay. She goes on. I need to know who filmed this video and how to convince the guy I'm dating that this is a completely different version of me. I have grown as a lady since then. Thoughts, please. Okay, so she expects us to believe that she has changed. She's had a change of heart. No more blowjobs on the first date, right? You know, I don't see a problem with, you know, girls holding out for a couple months. I feel like that's, you know, probably a better way of, you know, earning respect for the guy. But you got to give him some eventually, okay? I think 3 months is a bit too long. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Maybe 3 dates. 3 dates is sufficient. Most men will respect you for holding out just for 3 dates and then, you know, giving in, of course. But, you know, 3 months, my God, you know, this is not the Bible times where you got to wait 7 years before you know, you give them some. I mean, this is 2023, ma'am. You know, the United States of America, where freedom rings, okay? Anyways, this guy says, so she could blow the bad guy within 45 minutes, but the gentleman have to wait over 3 months just for some pre-owned pussy. Make it make sense. Oh, man. All right, these guys are off the chain, man. What the heck? Oh, hell no. That's what I'm saying. Oh, ooh, man. That was bad. Completely other version. Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like, get real, okay? Same old girl. She belongs to the streets. Yep, I agree. I'd recommend going back to healing. She didn't complete the healing process crying. Yeah, no. Like, this trips me out, man. All right, this guy says, seeing I did it within 45 minutes of knowing him, and then I'm just not comfortable with having sex without commitment, lets me know all I need to know. I mean, it's like the girl should, you know, take her out on a first date, and, you know, before she gives you a blowjob, you know, she's like, you know, I'm not that kind of girl. Freaking dick in her mouth and shit. And, of course, she's doing it outside of her own race. So, you know shit's going down. She's not exactly, you know, daddy's little princess anymore. But anyways, this guy says it's out there in the world and now on the internet. Might want to check BFF. Damn, that was brutal. Wow, what a story. But a very good one. And damn, this video is going to go on for quite a long time. So I don't know if I should see the next video. Maybe maybe we'll save this for another day. Yeah, I think, yeah, this video is definitely going on quite lengthy, but we'll jump right into this maybe in the next one. This is where this guy, he gets on TikTok and he's like describing his problems dating after the age of 40 and how the girl, you know, stood him up and shit. And yeah, we'll save that for another day. But very, very interesting video that I could provide some commentary on, and then we'll jump right into that later. But yeah, if a girl stands you up and you're in your 40s, dude, don't feel too bad, okay? Just have a few of them lined up, so you know you could schedule like 4 or 5 chicks in one weekend, and if one chick fails to show up, you just got the second, third, and fourth lined up, spaced out 2 hours apart from the first one. So you've got plenty of time to meet the other dates, okay? And then you can cancel on them if, you know, say girl number 2 comes through and you guys hit it off pretty good. So anyways, don't be so invested in these girls, man, because yeah, they will stand you up. But anyways, that is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little video. I am BP signing out.